Have you ever been in an argument where you try to hold someone accountable for something they did, and then, somehow, just moments later, you're the one defending yourself? Your character, your past? It's an incredibly confusing and, let's be honest, an absolutely exhausting experience. One minute, you're on solid ground, talking about a specific issue. The next, the whole conversation has been flipped on its head, and suddenly, you're the one on trial. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the psychological tactic that makes this happen. We're going to look at what it is, exactly how it works, and most importantly, how to see it coming and shut it down. You point out a lie, and suddenly they are attacking your tone, your past, or your friend's character. So why does asking for accountability instantly shift the entire fight? This is the dark psychological paradox of the Spotlight Diversion. It's a defensive shield used to transfer blame. And you can think of it like a mirror. It doesn't just block the truth, it reflects all of that heat, all of that scrutiny right back onto you. This isn't just a random argument or a misunderstanding. It's a calculated, almost reflexive maneuver designed to protect the manipulator at all costs, leaving you completely confused and questioning what just happened. All right, so to really get a handle on this, to know how to counter this incredibly effective tactic, we first need to get crystal clear on what it is we're actually dealing with. We've got to put a name to it and really understand its purpose. So let's define the diversion. Okay, so here's the formal definition. The Spotlight Diversion is a systematic psychological maneuver. And that word systematic is so important here. This is not an accident, it's a repeatable pattern. The manipulator intentionally, abruptly shifts the conversation away from their actions and aggressively refocuses it onto some perceived flaw or mistake of yours. The only goal here, to avoid accountability. This is way more than just changing the subject. It is an aggressive transfer of scrutiny. And this tactic, it's a cornerstone for individuals with strong narcissistic traits because it feeds two of their most basic needs, protecting a super fragile ego and avoiding shame at any and all costs. For them, admitting they were wrong isn't just uncomfortable, it feels like a total collapse, a catastrophic threat to who they are. So let's break down how this actually works. The main goal is simple and ruthless. Take that spotlight of scrutiny that's on them and lock it onto you. To do this, they use a couple of classic tactics. I'm sure you've heard of whataboutism. You bring up something they did, and they fire back with, oh yeah, well what about that time you did this? It's a classic deflection meant to make you look like a hypocrite. Another big one is projection. This is where they literally accuse you of the very thing they're doing. If they're being dishonest, they'll accuse you of hiding something. And all of this is fueled by that deep, pathological need for ego protection and that absolute, desperate avoidance of shame. Now, what makes this so insidious is that it's not just one single move. It's a process. It follows a predictable three-stage pattern. And I promise you, once you see this pattern, you'll start to recognize it everywhere. Let's walk through exactly how this toxic sequence unfolds. Okay, this right here is the engine room of the diversion. It all starts with stage one, the interruption. You try to hold them accountable for something. You're calm, you have the facts, but before you can even get your point across, bam, they launch a fierce, often completely out of proportion counterattack. This moves us right into stage two, the redirection. Now you're blindsided, you're hurt, you're confused, and you feel this overwhelming need to defend yourself against this new accusation. You completely abandon the original topic because you have to protect your character. And that's exactly what they want, because that leads to stage three, the extraction. Your distress, your confusion, your frantic attempts to defend yourself, that emotional chaos is what's known as narcissistic supply. It's their reward. It feeds their sense of control. They've successfully dodged accountability, regained control of the conversation, and gotten an emotional payoff from you in the process. So why is this so devastatingly effective, right? Why do so many of us fall into this trap again and again? The answer is in the psychology. In the conflicting needs of the manipulator and their target, it's like a perfect toxic storm. This slide gets right to the heart of it. On one side, you have the manipulator's core drive, ego protection. For them, admitting fault triggers what's called a narcissistic injury. It's this overwhelming, catastrophic shame their ego just can't handle. So, as a survival mechanism, they have to push all the blame outward. But here's the other side of the equation, the target's vulnerability, self-verification. This is a deeply human and usually very healthy need to be seen accurately by other people. When someone accuses you of being something you know you're not, selfish, lazy, dishonest, your gut instinct is to correct them. And this is where it gets so twisted. The manipulator weaponizes that healthy instinct against you. They know you'll feel forced to defend yourself, and that defense is the very thing that shifts the spotlight and gives them the control they crave. Just understanding this mechanism is a huge first step. It takes you from a place of confusion to a place of clarity. But what do you actually do to stop it? The good news is this tactic can be neutralized. There are clear, actionable strategies you can use. So let's move from just analyzing the problem to actually empowering you with the solution. The entire strategy for defending yourself boils down to this one core principle. You must refuse to engage with the diversion. You have to consciously, deliberately choose not to take the bait. Your instinct for self-verification, that healthy part of you, is going to be screaming at you to defend your character and prove them wrong. You have to learn to notice that urge and then calmly override it. The moment you start defending yourself against their new topic, you've lost. You're playing their game by their rules. Your power is in refusing to play. So how do we actually put that into practice? Here are 3 concrete countermeasures. First, name the diversion. When they try to shift the focus, you call it out. Calmly, directly. The tone is everything. It's not aggressive, it's just observational. Something like, that's a different topic. Right now, we need to stay focused on the original issue. Second, use the broken record technique. This is so powerful. You just calmly and concisely repeat the factual issue over and over in a neutral tone. We're not talking about my tone. We are talking about the fact that the deadline was missed. You just repeat it. You don't engage with any of the hooks they throw out. And finally, and this is the most important one, you have to be willing to enforce the boundary. You say, if we can't stay on this topic, I'm going to end this conversation for now. And if they keep diverting, you have to follow through. You walk away. It's not a punishment. It's you teaching them that their favorite tactic no longer works on you. You see, by using these strategies, you're doing something way bigger than just winning an argument. You are fundamentally breaking a destructive, exhausting, manipulative loop. And this brings us to the single most important takeaway from this whole explainer. If there is one thing you remember from this, let it be this. Your defense is their fuel. The energy you spend justifying yourself, arguing back, explaining your intentions, that is exactly what the manipulator wants. It's the fuel for their engine of control. It feeds their ego, it validates their power, and most importantly, it keeps that spotlight of accountability far away from them. When you refuse to defend yourself against their random attacks, you cut off their fuel supply. The whole engine just sputters and dies. And ultimately, it all comes down to this. You break their spotlight by calmly refusing to be lured away from the light of the original truth. You just hold your ground, not with anger, but with a quiet, firm refusal to be moved from the central factual issue. You decide where the light points, and you keep it pointed right where it belongs. So let's bring this all together. Remember, the spotlight diversion is that manipulative shield they use to shift focus and avoid every single accountability moment. The pattern is predictable. The manipulator interrupts with an attack, and they expertly exploit your natural human drive for self-verification. This ensures you get distracted, sidetracked, and emotionally drained trying to defend yourself against some new charge. But awareness breaks this loop for good. By recognizing the pattern, by naming the diversion, and by using the broken record technique, you calmly refuse to provide the emotional fuel that keeps their spotlight off of them and on you. You reclaim your power by simply refusing to participate in their script, keeping the focus and the truth firmly in the light.